Hi folks, I hope everybody's doing good. I want to do a quick video on this Schatt Morgan Carpenter's Splitback Whittler. And it was made in 2004, and we'll take a look at it in a minute. This is my alternative. I was going to try and get on the reserve list for the GEC 38 pattern splitback, but I found this one to be much more appealing, and it was quite a bit cheaper. So I bought this. If you look at that main blade, it's kind of a hybrid Warncliffe sheep's foot. And then what I really liked about it is, let me get my new tactical pen out. Really like this miniature clip point. Rather than having on a Whittler, you're going to have a coping blade and a pen knife or a pen blade. And I'm glad they put this. It kind of sold it for me right here, Evan. We'll take a quicker look at that in a minute, or a better look at that. Now the color here is slightly off. It's described as a crimson red jigged Rogers bone. And if people don't know what the difference between a jigged Rogers bone and a regular jigged bone, the Rogers bone, the jigging is all random, whereas, let's pull this out here. This is a new knife that came in here. This is a GEC 97. But as you'll see, this jigging is all kind of a continual pattern. Rogers bone, the jigging on a Rogers bone will always be random. And here's another example of jigging that's kind of patterned out. And we'll take a look at the Schatt Morgan a little closer here in a minute. Let's see, what else do I got to say about it? Yeah, it's definitely a crimson. So for you football fans, it's the color of a Alabama Crimson Tide football helmet. So it's showing a little bit lighter, but that's my camera. And once again, I'll apologize for that. But it still looks pretty sweet anyway, don't you think? Now the shield here is sterling silver, 0.925 solid silver. And that comes in, those are all on the Series 12 pattern. We'll all have the keystone made out of silver. So let's kind of pan around a little bit. You'll see there's a little bit of scratching up here, and that's only because it rubs on the main blade. But we all know it's kind of hard to fit perfectly 3 blades into a small pocket knife. Now they call this a swell center, or a center swell pattern. As you can see, the threaded bolsters. It's a little bigger on this side, swells up in the center, and then gets a little smaller there. It's one of the Whittlers are probably my second favorite pattern to collect besides the Barlow. It's a close one between the Whittlers and the equal ends. But I have quite a few Whittlers, but I don't have a center swell. I got the Case Seahorse. I wish I could have pulled a whole bunch of them out, but I'm still having issues with my back. And I just got bad news on Friday that my surgery is going to be delayed a little bit more because of the insurance company. So I got to deal with that. Like I said, I made it this far, so I'll just keep plugging away and try and put out as much content as I can in the meantime. But normally, you guys know I would have pulled out every Whittler I have in my collection to compare the two. Let's take a look at the backside really quick. Pile side. This here is a little different. And as you can see, it's all random jigging because they dyed the jigging black. But that's a trait from Rogers jigging, from Rogers jig bone, however you want to do it. But and also the Rogers bone is usually a harder bone. It's a bovine bone, and it's usually imported from Argentina or Australia, where the climate is a little hotter than here in America. It makes for a really sweet looking cover for a knife, but it's a little bit more brittle than the American bovine. But you know, it does have it holds a dye better supposedly, and it does have a translucent look to it, depending on how you dye the covers. So, as you can see, the blades are in good shape. There's just that little bit of blade rub, and that could be from opening and closing it. This looks like this knife has been displayed quite a bit because, as you can see, the box has some wear and tear on it. So it looks like it may have come out of the box quite a bit. But it has the factory edges. And let's take a look at it in the hand. First, let's snap these down. You can see plenty of snap. How's that look? As you can see, it'll say 925 sterling silver. I like this so much better than the GEC version, which the GEC version's close to a seahorse Whittler. I'm not sure exactly what they call that pattern, but as you'll see here, the quality on this knife is spectacular. Here's your split back where it comes to a narrow stop and splits open, where your two small blades will ride on separate springs, and when it comes down to here, your main blade will ride off both of these springs. Love these threaded bolsters. Let's get this get him out of the way a little bit. Let's take a measurement for size. So 3.5 inches. Now the blade is short, the main blade. As you'll see, check out the fit here. Slightly proud. I don't know if we can get that in. Very nice high polish. Excuse me. Been smoking a lot trying to fight off all this pain. I started doing the vaping, but that just wasn't getting it. Smoking cigarettes for some reason kind of distracts me from the pain a little bit. So one way I'm going to kill myself, one way or the other. Probably from smoking. But anyway, there's 1 out of 600. Beautiful long pole. And on this side here, what do we got? What does it say? Can't get it to focus in. Pretty sure it says Schatt and Morgan stainless. Can't see on my camera, but I bet you it comes out on the video. But anyway, check that out. Oh, did we measure the blade? Small blade, just over 2 inches. And the cutting edge is just over 1 3/4 inches. So it's very controllable. Perfect for whittling. But I like this pattern as a regular EDC. Because when I do go back to work, I need to use small blades too. So this would be a perfect knife for a work knife for me. Now they call it a Carpenter's Whittler, which I don't know why, because I mean, how hard is it to knock a nail in wood? I can see why electricians had a pattern named after them, but carpenters? Come on, really? I mean, like I said, how hard is it to knock a nail in the wood? But for some reason, they got one named after them. So I guess we'll have to go with the flow on that. And we want to try, you'll see these really small nail nicks up here for the smaller blades. But it's not a hard pull to get it out of there. 2004 043448 is the model number. I'm wondering if he gave me the wrong box. Huh. Well, there's the model number. I think they gave me the wrong box. Here, that says Schatt and Morgan. Nothing on that side, but is that a cool blade or what? Could use that at work all day. At least I could. For modifying circuit boards. Next blade up with a very small nail nick is the coping blade. And there you have some rub where it's hitting the liner. Once again, Schatt and Morgan on the tang stamp. Really nice work blade. And this here doesn't kind of interfere with your grip a little bit. I thought it might. But, I mean, you could really get some work done either way. Whether you're whittling or carving, or just doing your job at work. Or if you're a carpenter and you're knocking a nail in the wood and for some reason you need a knife, but I'm really not sure why why a carpenter would need a Whittler. There you go, my friends. Split back, swell center, no cracks. Rogers jigged bone in a crimson. Threaded bolsters, long pole. Beautiful EDC. Or if you're in the whittling, beautiful Whittler. Whittling away. And the cool clip point. Mini clip point. So folks, there you have it. Tell me what you think. Take a look at the GEC 38 pattern and tell me which one you would prefer. For me, it's this one. If you compare the 38 has a worn cliff on it, but the sheep's foot kind of with the long pole on this looks pretty cool. Got the swedge up at the top. But that's it, my friends. Until next time, take care. Peace. Bye-bye.